What if I told you after 30 minutes, I helped Janae book 4 sales calls? But here's the kicker. She only spent $66 to generate those 4 sales calls. What would that do for you and your company if you could do that? You see, a lot of people like to overcomplicate running ads to book calls. And although it can be complicated, it's really simple down to the core. You just don't know what you don't know. You don't need a massive budget. You can actually book calls for relatively cheap within contingencies, right? But what we ended up doing is we had a masterclass in a sense where people paid to be a part of the masterclass, that paid to be a part of the community. And I launched ads with them on the call. And 30 minutes after that, watching us do it live, Janae went to market and she spent $66 to book 4 calls. So I hope you find value in this. If you do, let me know in the comments down below. Let's hop into it.
As I mentioned, like come in from the ads.
Yeah. And just really hammering what he says, guys, especially if you have no data on the actual industry you're going into, the boring shit is the stuff that most people don't do that they usually need to do. Right. And so understanding what marketing messages the market is seeing continuously on ads is crucial. And I'll give you my own story, right? When I was going into the SaaS space, I was like, hey, I'll bring you 50 demos or sign ups. Like that was my offer, right? I'm sorry, I came up with 100. That's what it was at first. No one converted. I was like, what the heck? So then I just tested 70 and 50. Guess which one worked? 50. 100 at the time was too unbelievable for them because from a marketing perspective, they were not seeing anything but 20 to 30. So when I came out with 100 and even 70, they were like, scam. But I only see, and luckily I did testing, but you guys, when you're scrolling Instagram and you guys say you're in the industry of car dealerships and you start searching car dealerships in the Facebook ad library, on Google, on Twitter, on YouTube, Instagram and Facebook are going to start throwing you guys out ads, right? So literally, as you guys are scrolling, right? Can I share real quick?
Yeah, sure.
And then we'll get tactical, guys. But I really want to hammer in this point because it's super important. As you guys are scrolling, right, you're going to get shown ads. Pay attention. Like this guy's running an offer to agencies. This is what his offer is. Cool. Well, if I were to come out and say, I'll get you 10,000, the market's seeing him. They're going to be like, what? Nah, not on par with what I'm seeing. And the market is always evolving. So every 2-year cycles, you need to be paying mind to the game. And before I get into this, let's talk about market research, right? In ads, by the way, drop a 1 in the chat if any of you guys here have ran ads or are continuously running ads. Okay. Or Ismail, I know you are. Let's go. Okay, we got a few of you guys. Let's freaking go. You guys know when you go into the ads library, which I will show you in a second, you can target people. You can target interest and stuff. Well, as you guys are also getting shown ads from people that are relative to what you guys are selling, you can see exactly who they're targeting. So next to this, if I click the 3 dots, right, and I click, why am I seeing this ad? And you could do this on Instagram. And then you click advertiser choices, I can see exactly who he's targeting. 30 to 55, US, UK, and he's stacking all these interests. Who in here, drop a 1 in the chat if you knew you could do that. Unless you're in the program. Ismail's in the program and he doesn't even know you could do that. Ismail, did I really? Are you in the program and you don't know you could do that? Yeah, so again, coming back to the importance of really hammering in what Haysam said, try to figure out what is on par with what your industry is seeing. Because you may have a really good marketing message, a hook, a unique mechanism, but you're just off par with what they're currently used to right now. And you just got to slightly make the variation as time goes on. That's always slightly moving. Does that make sense?
Exactly. And that
Cool.
would usually give you always like an edge whenever you're starting out, right? For me, I've never ran any ad before actually having so here's what I do. I find something that is working, and usually I do this either from what case is going over, like looking at ads, etc., or sometimes if I'm like in specific niches, right, I would literally pay media buyers to jump on a 30-minute call with me, right, show me the ads that they are running, right, that are working for them. And I already have my knowledge and my experience in this space and doing my own like market research. So guess what I'm testing now? I'm testing what's working against what I think is going to be working better. So I'm already winning with the ads, right? So that's a complete different way. Like you doing, and this is basically the boring job that Casey is talking about, right? So you're setting up yourself, as they say, like, hey, you're setting up yourself for failure. You're also setting up yourself for winning, if that's the game. Like, how can you have ads that aren't performing at all if you're testing something that is already working against something that you think is going to be working better, right? So, yeah, that's definitely it. Casey, if you want to move on to the technical stuff, which I know
Oh man.
over here would want.
Are we getting tactical, brother? Are we about to get This is the sauce. This is what they want. Drop a 1 in the chat if you guys are at least still alive. No, don't fall asleep on me. I know we're covering the stuff that's the foundational stuff that everyone, it goes in one ear and out the other, but it's important, right? Because that is what is going to be predicated for you guys to see success when we do get tactical. Alrighty, let's get tactical. Again, guys, the whole conversation with me, Serge, and Hassam is like, yo, let's just give you guys the sauce. We're not going to hold back. You guys, right now, this is what we are helping clients do to launch. If you guys here are struggling to book calls, I'm going to do exactly what we do. Obviously, there's variations, right? For clients. You guys are getting all of it. So have your notepads out and let's get freaking rocking and freaking rolling. I'm going to share my screen. Now, if you guys haven't ran ads,
before, one second. I want to say something to everyone, because this is a kind of like a new way that I personally look at ads with. So we used to, in 500 years ago, the way you would eat is that you would go plant a seed, and it would take a bunch of rainy days, a bunch of putting some whatever thing that helps the plant grow faster. Then you would have to plant a lot of them, and you have to wait to essentially eat and feed your family. You would probably, if you were a man, you would also go hunting. You would have to go in the jungle. You might not, your family knew that it's possible you couldn't make it back. But again, it's okay. It's risk, reward. If you don't take the risk, you wouldn't eat, so you would die regardless. So now in sales and marketing, it's also the same thing. There are people who are planting their own seeds, who are still going in the jungle and hunting for food. Today, guys, you don't have to do none of that. You have Uber Eats, you have the grocery store, you have restaurants that will find you the best wine, that will cook you the best meal. The other day I went on an amazing restaurant. It cost me a few $100, but I ate food that was amazing. Today, when it comes to getting clients, when it comes to getting leads, when it comes to getting the person who wants what you have to sell, AI does the work for you. All you have to do is trade a little bit of income, okay? Which money is a store of value. When you use money, it's essentially you're buying someone else's time who did go hunting in the jungle, who did plant the seed, and who did cook up some wine, and who did build a team, who did figure out management, who did figure out how to code, who did figure out. So guys, instead of us telling people, and because previously it was this idea of like, hey, do outreach, do cold email, do this, but I'm like, that is so outdated today. With a budget of $100, $500, you could confirm if your business works or doesn't work. Genuinely. So if you're currently not getting clients, not getting attention, and you're worried about spending money, going and getting a credit card and putting, I don't care, get in debt. What's worse? What's worse than getting in debt trying to get attention? You still have your $500 on your credit card. Yes, it's not maxed out, but so what? You're still living in jail. So it's like you're limited because you're not acquiring more leverage. Acquire more leverage. Trade money for attention, trade money for technology. And I promise you, you will achieve things that most people will never achieve because they don't understand anything about leverage. Everybody wants to trade their time. Everybody wants to trade their life to acquire wealth when leverage already exists. And that is, for me, is the saddest thing ever. Never trade your time for money. Always trade money for time before you trade your time for money. And I just want you guys to have this belief, because a lot of you guys see ads, this, ads, that, but you guys are not running ads. I'm like, why are you guys not running ads? And it kills me. So let's go.
Let's go. P.S. One thing I forgot to note, and thank you, Mr. Analogy King. planting seeds, sprouting them out of the ground. I saw me. He got him in his back pocket, bro. He has him in his back pocket. As a note, I forgot to mention to you guys, y'all need to remember when you're actually creating your offer and you're going after these industries, make sure you're using the correct vernacular. You're speaking the industry language. If I'm talking to agency owners, they want appointments and sales calls. If I'm talking to real estate agents, they want listings. Solar and HVAC want installs. Contractors want jobs. Make sure you're actually talking the vernacular so that you're a little bit more aligned when they actually do see the ad come across your face. Julio, let's rock. Prior to running ads, I want to make a preface to you guys, okay? The AI is getting very good. Nice catch, Bilal. I saw that, brother. That boy caught his lamp like he was Odell Beckham Jr. I saw that. Good catch, G. Let's go. Preface. Eventually what happens, because the AI and the ad account is getting so good, what does future success look like? Future success is your ad account is going to have so much ICP/avatar data, you're eventually not going to have to do any targeting. Sometimes for some clients, we don't have to do any targeting at all because Facebook can read the copy of who you're calling out. It can read the creative of who you're calling out. It can listen to your voice of who you're calling out, right? But the idea typically, quote unquote, is when you're first starting ads, you kind of want to point Facebook in general directions if your ad account has no data. But I say that in a sense of just remember the future pay success. Eventually, we're trying to work towards a point where we have so much data open will be the best performing campaign. And it's the cheapest because we're not actually confining Facebook's targeting. So CPMs would be a little bit lower, right? On top of that, I want you guys to remember something. 99% of this has nothing to do with button pushing. 99% of it comes down to creating better ads. If I had the best targeting with the shitty ad, that will not work. I could have the worst targeting in the world and create a bomb-ass ad. I promise you the algorithm will find the right people and that shit will start converting. Okay? What does an ad make up? Offer, angle, unique mechanism, proof. What's the actual hook if you're doing a video, right? And understand that there's different sub-segments of the market. Guess what, guys? There's certain people who are scrolling on Reels and the lights will fire their dopamine and they're more receptive to these high edited ones. I found myself scrolling the other day and I came across a guy who was it was a post and he was just walking. Sam Millsap, if you guys know him. No banner, no text, no nothing. Super organic. And I swiped 7 times and I'm like, wait, what just caught my attention? And I scroll up and it was super organic. I'm noticing myself, I'm a certain subsegment of the market that's super responsive to UGC. So remember when you're creating ads within your industry, there's different people who are receptive to different things. So don't just continuously sit in front of one setting. Don't create the same static. Sit in front of the highly edited one. Go get in front of your car. Go around the pond and walk. Make a funny one jumping off the bed. Because different people are watching different pieces of content, and you can be more receptive to specific people in your actual industry. Okay? Create better ads for specific people. Hopefully that makes sense. Coolio. Let's get rock and rolling. So what the first thing we're going to do is create a campaign. I've already created it, but I will go back and show you what it is. So on here, create leads campaign. All right, have your notepads out. Once we create the leads campaign, don't worry about the naming convention. I'm just doing this so I don't have you guys looking at everything else, just so we can keep the ad account super simple today. We're going to be doing a lead form. So I put LF and I'm actually running with the industry and the offer that we're targeting. So just car dealerships, 150 guaranteed, right? ABO is just ad set budget optimization. We're putting the budget on the ad set level and we're not putting it on the campaign level. Okay. We're going to go into new ad set level. What I want you guys to understand that I do, that a lot of people I see don't do, is I'm going to build out one entirely done ad set before I try to do any duplication. I want to go create everything for workflow purposes. And you're going to see when I actually do this and I'll hammer it in when we get to that point. Okay. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to name this non-DCO, just means non-dynamic creative. And I'm going to name this open, or actually we're going to go AC plus. Now stick with me. I know you're confused. Don't worry. What is AC plus? We're going to scroll down. All this can stay the same. Okay. Lead form, maximum number of conversion leads, or actually I typically do maximum number of leads. This is new that they're pushing. So we're letting it try it out. So we'll let that try. Don't trip too much about it. You can test everything. Keep dynamic creative off. Typically, we'll put that into a scaling campaign in phase 2. Daily budget will set at the very end. Location. So here we have what Facebook is basically just newly rolling out. So you have advantage audience, right? We're just like, if you were to switch back, you're going to see you can actually go in here and methodically put in stuff. Okay. We're going to do that in just a second, but I'm just going to use this. ASC is basically Facebook's new AI in which they're trying to help just do stuff on their own. What we're going to do is add the countries that we're going to add. So Canada, United States, and we'll just, for timing purposes, we'll just do the big 3. Just so you guys know, there's the big 5. What is the big 5? Big 5 English-speaking countries: United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. Typically, depending on your sales team size, I would just prioritize your time zone. Okay, if you're in US, you can only take US time zone, do US, Canada, maybe fit in United Kingdom. Don't worry about Australia and New Zealand. Okay, for this purposes, we'll do B3. So I'll scroll back up, B3, scroll back down. Now in audience, we're going to do, where's the minimum age? Show more options. You guys are going to know your age the more market research you do. Typically, a lot of people will just keep it 18. I typically pop it up to like 21 for my minimum age. Okay. And when I actually open up all the way on the next ad set, you guys will see how we do that. Okay. We'll keep all these the exact same. And starting off, again, remember guys, the more you can find Facebook's targeting, the more expensive it'll be. We always typically start off with auto placements. Facebook will start putting the ad in front of the right people. Again, it's getting smarter and smarter. All right. So now let's go to the actual ad level. When I name ads, it's usually video or static, V or S. So here I'll go S and I'll go, hey, this is the first batch of the static, ad 1. And then if I want to iterate it, so like yellow banner, if it was something like that. So now I know, hey, this is static, batch 1 of the static, and this is the first ad. Okay. And that's important for when we actually look at the data on the back end for the sheet. You guys, at the end of the day, name it what you want, just whatever you're going to remember. You don't have to copy exactly what I'm doing. Okay. Make sure your Facebook page is connected, your Instagram account connected. It's going to say click create ad. And then here is where we are going to add the ad. I already have them downloaded. So let me add it from the downloads. And for the purposes of timing, guys, we created like 10. I'm only going to do 2. And I'll get to that point in a second. So we're going to add one of them in here. Cropping wise, I typically just keep everything original. Okay. And then optimize for this. Make sure you turn off all this crap. For me, I want full control. I don't know what Facebook does on the back end. And sometimes you'll have an ad and it's thrown on like Christmas music on the ad, but I can't track that. So make sure you have this unchecked. Okay. Now, right here, call to action, learn more. And I forgot, we're going to do quality control in just a second. When you're launching an ad, okay, typically, and this is just rule of thumb for most media buyers, you'll put just the headline calling out the industry. So used car dealers. Listen up. Typically, Facebook has a mind of its own, especially for those of y'all who have not ran ads, you will find out really fast. They're going to reject shit for no reason. I remember I was in e-com, I was promoting a hat, and they banned me for trying to sell weed. I'm like, what? It's a hat. It makes no sense, bro. What the hell are you talking about? We always publish first and let it run for 48 hours, no primary text, because this is where usually people get nicked in the butt. Alrighty. So starting off, no primary text, just have the creative in there and just have the headline so we can do an additional call out for our market. And it's also more so because Facebook can read car dealers. So it can also help place the targeting of the ad in front of people. Does that make sense? Put a 1 in the chat. Let me know you're still with me. Cool. We're gonna keep rocking. All righty. And then let's come down, learn more. Let's make sure we didn't miss anything. Awesome. Now let's go ahead and create the lead form. Okay. I want you guys to pay attention because there's something that a lot of people do wrong when you're doing the lead form, when you're implementing conditional logic. All righty. So we're going to create a form, name it what you want. You can do V1 car dealers. You can do date. So like 10/18, right? I always do more volume. And then here's what I put for the headline. Again, guys, a marketer's job at the end of the day is continuous testing. That's it. You're trying to find a new control and test against it. So take what I give you guys, but don't take it as an absolute. Test against it. If you guys find something that works better, freaking awesome. Come share it with me. I'm a nerd. I would love to hear what you guys figured out. Okay. Headline. I typically go, hey there, and I'll add my little waving emoji. Right. Then I'll go camel case. Camel case is the first letter of every word is capitalized. Input your information down below and this is important, capitalized, text you how this works. And then typically, if you guys are doing a qualifier, or if you guys are getting a lot of B2C people opt in, so for example, we have guys in the dental industry, right? They're getting a lot of citizens opting in thinking it's for dental work. So like disclaimer, this is for used car dealers above X cars a month. Only. Okay. So we'll input your information down below and we will text you how this works. This is important because we're trying to do our best to quantify someone actually giving us the real phone number. So we can text them, we can call them. Cool. Okay, then we're gonna go next. This is important. Up here, you're gonna see conditional logic. The idea is we want to try to train Facebook on what the right data is, right? Because if you can remember what I said, we're trying to accumulate more data, but it's also more important to accumulate the right data, right? We want, and more so just the right demographic. Sometimes it's going to be guys who aren't at the revenue level. There's nothing you can do about that, right? If so, maybe ask the question I'm going to ask, but it's more so the demographic. So Facebook knows in the future who to go after. So we're going to turn conditional logic on. We're going to add a question. We're going to add a multiple choice. You can say, are you a used car dealership owner? Something like that, right? You can go yes. You can go no. Here you're going to go submit form and page for leads. Okay. I'm going to give you guys another question to think about. For no, you're going to go submit form. No, I'm sorry. Close form, in page for non-leads. This is important. No one does this. This is something I tell the clients to do. It's not yet. We're going to get there, but you need to do something on the end page for leads. Another question you could ask, and I really want to hammer this in real quick. The idea is starting off when you're newer, you create flow, then you create friction. I got this from Cole Gordon's 8-figure boardroom. Okay. If your job right now is to get more sales calls and you're not getting any sales calls or any leads, well, try not to create so much friction starting off. Get some data in the door, get used to having calls even if they're unqualified. But as you begin to create friction, you could ask the question here where it's like, are you above, and let's just use the agency example for a second. Are you above 10K a month? Oh shit, 10K a month, right? I'm just giving you guys a framework to think through. Same thing, yes. No, this would go closed form. If you guys were to add this second question, okay, stick with me. First question, you would go to next question. Cool. So, hey, are you a used car dealership owner? If so, go to question 2. Hey, are you actually a used car dealership owner that's above 10K a month? If so, cool, submit form and page for leads. Does that make sense? Yes? Cool. See some head shaking. Awesome. Alrighty. So now we're going to scroll down, go to the description. Let's put input or fill in your information down below. And then here, what we'll do is I like to segment first name, last name, because that's actually going to go into different blanks and go high level. So I'm going to delete this. I'm going to go add category, contacts, field, or username fields, first name, last name. Well, they used to let you drag it. Looks like you can't drag it anymore, which is not a big deal. And then what I also want, contact fields, phone number. So we're going to get their email, first name, last name, phone number. Okay. Don't add too much friction. Super simple. Y'all with me? We're going to the next page. Qualifying question, conditional logic. Car dealership owner? If so, man, are you actually doing above X amount? Cool. If so, you can, let's talk about it. Next page. Privacy policy. Just add the link to your website. I have yet to have an issue doing this. If you have a privacy policy, obviously link the privacy policy. A lot of people don't have a privacy policy. For purpose of time today, you can go on is it LinkedIn, Haisam, right?
No, it's actually jump on Google and you literally type privacy policy generator, and there is a website on there, and then you just like create your privacy policy in 2 seconds, and then you throw it in there.
Yeah. But again, guys, at y'all scale, just you don't have to trip too much about it. Don't take my thing as an absolute. If you get in trouble, don't come to me. It was Hassam. You can technically just put the web address and it'll work. And then link text, put privacy. Cool. This is the important page. Okay. In page for leads. So this is what happens when someone submits the form and they answer the conditional logic the right way. It's going to go one last step. Right? Oh, they added another section. Where does this go? Oh, yeah. Sorry, this is the name, leads. This is going to go one last step. And then especially for you guys who are going after local, typically most local marketing agencies are doing exclusivity policy, meaning they're only working with one client per circumference. So you can go to due to limited availability per our exclusivity, however you spell that, policy, lock in your spot by clicking lock spot below. Ignore my grammatical errors. And then down here, right here, it says view website, put lock spot. You're going to go to website. And then you're going to put the link to wherever you're going to send them. That can be the funnel with just your calendar on it, which full transparency. That's what we're doing with most people right now. Right now, we're leading them straight because the offer is so good. We're leading them straight to the calendar. We're getting more booking rates that way. And then on the next page is where they're actually watching the VSL. Does not mean you cannot flip it. We have other clients that are testing the flip. You can A/B test it. All I want you guys to understand is you can put right here, you're going to put the link to the funnel you're sending people to. Make sense? Just make sure you're not sending them to another opt-in page. Cool. Here's the main one I want you guys to understand. In page for non-leads. Look what this says. Everyone take a second to read this. Thanks for your interest. Based on your answers, this might not be the best fit for you. Check out our website. Well, if I'm a car dealership owner and I opt into this thing and I answer the conditional questions and I get to the end and you tell me I'm not qualified and I know, oh, it's based on the questions I answered. What would most people do if they're in a dire need of pain? Exit the form, go back into the form, change their answers. That's what everyone would do. I'm not qualified. Yep, yeah, man, I'm making above 10K, dude. That's me, dude. I was just kidding, fool. Just kidding. Guess what? Now that we're training Facebook on more of that data, we don't need to. So it's just, thanks for your interest. Our team, you guys can make this up, but all I want to make it seem like is that, hey, we'll be in touch if you're a fit, we'll be in touch in the next 48 to 72 hours. And you just don't talk to them. So, hey, our team will take a look at your information and will be in touch within 48 to 72 hours. And then what do you do for the link? Because this is where people get confused. Watch this. Ready? Facebook.com. Super easy. Send them right back home. They were already on Facebook. Send them back to Facebook. Now they have no clue. Because otherwise they'd be like, nope, you know what? I'm changing my answers. Caveat. So you're going to watch me not click this blue button. Why? You cannot delete lead forms. You cannot delete pixels. So remember when you're creating those, you cannot duplicate them. For the purpose of our ad account, we already have enough. I'm not going to create this. But hopefully you guys understood the framework in which we walked you through. Does all this make sense? And don't worry, this is all recorded too. One in the chat if you're still with me. Are you alive? Are we breathing? Is it a good day? Are we grateful? Okay. All right, let's rock. Cool. So for the purpose of this, I'm just going to select this lead form. So we have one ad set, one ad. Let's go ahead and add the one other ad we're going to do, and then watch how fast this is going to be. I'm going to click quickly duplicate. I'm going to go to this copy, right? I'm going to change out the ad. to the other one. I'm going to make sure it's all original across the board, no optimizations. I'm going to rename this S1.2. This is yellow banner. This technically would be orange banner, right? All right, now watch this. Remember at the beginning where I said, hey, we're only going to create one ad set entirely done first, right? So I have one ad set completely built out. I have the ads in there. I have the targeting. I have the headline. I got the lead form selected, right? Why do I do that? Well, say I was going to go do all this targeting before I get to the ads. If I just created 10 ad sets with 10 different audiences and stuff, and then I had to go create the ads, select the lead form, on each of these, I would have to go one by each ad and add the ad, add the ad, add the lead form, add the lead form, add the ad, add the ad. Workflow wise, it's crazy. So you just create one entirely done one, and then watch how simple this is going to be. Now, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to assume our daily budget's $100. Okay. Once you start spending more money, I would rather you guys accelerate your success by having more money being spent on each ad set. So if I have a $100 daily budget, I would actually rather you guys put more money on each ad set and say like 25 bucks a day. So I would rather go duplicate 3 times and have 25 bucks on each. But now let's just address the elephant in the room, because some of you guys may not have that, right? Well, let's assume you have a $50 a day budget. Well, then maybe I would want to do 10 bucks a day. So I would have I would have one more ad set at 10. And if your budget's getting a little bit lower and it's at like 25, then just to kind of make sure you're gonna go all in on the right one, maybe you would have 5 at 5 bucks a day. But why is that? Why is it that I would want to segment different audiences and maybe try to force more spin on each? You guys need to remember this. If you could assume your lead cost is 20 bucks, industry average is 15 to 30, sometimes even cheaper. Well, that means each ad set has to spend at least 20 bucks, right? Not the total campaign. Let's say you're spending 100 bucks a day and your lead cost is 30, and you had 10 ads at 10 bucks a day. That means you would spend 100 bucks day one, but each ad set would only have 10. 200 bucks the next day, on each ad set only has 20. Third day is technically when you're going to hit KPI of lead cost, of when you're finally going to figure out, hey, am I going to get a lead? And at that point, people are like, bro, I spent, oh my God, 300 bucks, bro. I don't have a leg. Oh, I got one lead, you know? So it can get scary. And so what we try to do is like, hey, let's have less ad sets, especially since the AI is getting better, and put more spend on them so we can diminish the learning curve. That way it's like after a day or so, you can kind of get a pulse check on everything, you know? So just remember that. Don't look at total spent. You need to look at how much each ad set is spent. All right, so when we do duplications, let's go into the next audience. The next audience I may try out is going to open original. So I'd scroll down to the audience section, switch to original audience, and I have all this open again. Okay, so this one I might go, okay, 21, I typically go 21 to 40, 21 to 45. And guys, this is quick. We're gonna wrap up in the next few minutes. Watch how we do this. 21 to 45, all genders. Make sure this is checked. Okay, give Facebook the power to go find people. And then all I'm gonna do, scroll up, rename it, open OG. And watch this. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down right here just so I'm on the actual part. I'm gonna click to the next audience. Oh my gosh, I'm right here. All I gotta do is change out the audience. That's crazy. This one, we may do an interest stack. So I may come into here. I'll do 21 to 45. And then I'll go, okay, let's go Simon Sinek. We'll do like an author influencer stack. Okay, and then I can go right here, click suggestions. So I may go Seth Godwin, Gary Vaynerchuk, Robert Kiyosaki, John C. Maxwell, Zig Ziglar. And don't trip about the actual interest, guys. Facebook made a report. It's only accurate 30% of the time. When Facebook has the power, it'll jump from freaking entrepreneurship to pony if it thinks there's one in pony. Don't take it too absolute. And you just stack a bunch. So then I'll stack, I'll come back up, and I'll go influencer, stack. Okay. And the next one, you could do, right, 21, 45. And then maybe on this one, we'll go like business related ones. So we'll go like business page admins. We'll go sales. We can actually use, we can also incorporate like a software stack. So let's go Salesforce. Let's go HubSpot. Again, we're just going broader, right? Because there's more money on it. And then look at the suggestions. We got MailChimp, Infusionsoft. I know there's a Asana on here too. Anyhow, you get the point. Asana. Okay. And I come up here and go like business tech stack. Okay. And on this one, we may do a lookalike. If you guys have a list, if you don't worry about this, just do another stack. You can switch to original audience, change the age parameter. I'm not going to show you how to create the actual lookalike list. It's just going to, that would take a little bit more time. But in here in custom audience, right? You can, if you have scraped a lead list of your ideal market, you can go create a custom audience, just import the CSV file, name it, and then you can actually select that list here. Let's see if we have any. Let's just say we'll use a 1%. So on this saved audience, this is a, if it's going to show you the name, it's going to pop up. But this is a 1% lookalike of a stack that we did in the past. So we had a booked call list, right? And we're basically saying, hey, Facebook, based on these booked calls, go find me people who are 1% similar to them. So then we'll scroll up and be like, cool. 1% booked calls. Okay. And then look, we have everything built out. I'd have to individually go create stuff. All I'm going to do is change the budget. 25, 25, 25, 25. Now here's the last disclaimer for you guys. No one talks about this either. When we publish, since we have the same 2 ads in each, we publish one ad set first and wait for it to get approved to make sure it gets approved. I would rather one ad set with all the ads in it get rejected than all 10 ads get rejected, because your ad account has an account quality score, right? So think of like your payment processors. Right now, I have clients priming their payment processor, meaning every day they're charging themselves $1. Why? Well, if I only have 2 transactions and one guy disputes, I have a 50% dispute ratio. My account can get shut down. But if I've been charging myself $1 for 2 years, well, then my dispute percentage is like 0.05. My account quality is still good, right? It's the same methodical thought process that you guys want to think about when you're launching. So when we do, we're going to double check everything. Okay. We're going to go up to review and publish. Ad set level. Unselect everything. Oh, there's a bunch of shit in here. But these are the ones I created, right? This and that one. Just select one. We'll just select one and publish it. And then we're going to wait. You'll get an email and you'll see it in here. Once it gets approved, then you're good. Then you can go back up here and publish the entire campaign and you're good to go. Okay. Does that make sense? Once it's running for 3 days, 2 to 3 days, if you have primary text, you can go back into the ad and you can add the primary text as well. Last thing. This is where I've seen a lot of clients mess up. What happens when after you create and publish the ad? How many of you guys right now are using Go High Level? Probably everyone, I assume, correct? Drop a 1 in the chat. Oh, I see some heads. All right, that works. After every single time you create a lead form, you have to go into GHL. This is a client's account just for simplistic purposes. You have to go to settings, integrations, okay? Facebook form fields map. You need to map the fields of that form. Why? Because we're putting these people automatically into the pipeline. So you need to be able to go to that, go to automations, and then, is it this one? And then if you go to right here, you need to make sure you select the right form that you just created. So every time you, because people keep forgetting this, that's why I'm bringing it up. People think they published the ads and it's done. If you change the form, you need to remember, once you publish, to go back in GHL, go map those fields and go update the form in the automations. Otherwise, they're not going to be thrown into your pipeline. They're not going to get sent to Discord, the whole 9 yards. Okay. Does that make sense? Cool. Last thing, this is going to take 2 seconds. I forgot quality control. Got so much. Last thing. Typically, if you guys have a new ad account, you want to warm up your ad account. Okay. If you just come out of the gate and start spending $50, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get banned. Coming back to the dispute percentage ratio, right? What I have everyone do right now is they create what's called a, right here, quality control campaign. It's going to be open targeting. This is super simple. You can just send people to do just on your ad so they can just watch the ad. It doesn't matter. All we're trying to do is just have something running in the background. And we're just going to have, I don't know, like 5 ads in the background. Let's just have an example. Assume that there's 5 ads in here. Okay. All these are running in the background. You're going to set the daily budget to this thing. Super cheap. Ready? Watch this. $3. Why? Again, if stuff gets rejected, well, we have 20 approved ads in the backdrop that are just running. It's mitigating your stuff getting shut down. So in the background, we just have clients spending $3 a day across 5 to 10 ads, and it's called quality control. It's to maintain the health of the ad account in case you do publish a campaign and freaking 5 ads get rejected. Because if you don't have this, sometimes 5 ads get rejected, Facebook shuts your shit down. But this helps. Same thing with the prime to payment processor conversation. Julio, drop a 1 in the chat if you found any kind of value in that. Just a little bit, just maybe, or we tanked. Let me know if we shit the bed. Did we shit the bed? Maybe we did. I don't know. It's cool. Let us know. Hey, 2 in the chat if I shit the bed. Come on. No. No, not 30 a day. It's 3 a day. So you'll spend that's like $90 a month. So 3 a day across all of them. Cool.
Cool. Who here isn't, I know some of you guys are already working with us in the incubator or as partners, but who here is in NBL and hasn't launched their ads yet? Or their client acquisition kind of like campaign? Let me know in the chat. Okay. And I have a quick question for you guys. Out of the people who haven't yet launched theirs, how many want to launch their main acquisition to be paid ads on Meta? Okay, cool. Hi, Sam. Do you want to walk through the geo case study? Because I want to show you guys an example of because this case study I saw it the other day and I was like, huh, this is pretty sick. Do you want to walk people through? Because I think for me, what I really care about is for people to get into getting the inputs and the outputs, right? So walk them through the case study.
I can walk them through the results of that, or Casey, do you have access to his? Because do you have access to his ads manager, to Geo's ads manager?
I think he went to take a little dump ski.
All right, let me share my screen, but let me show you guys. These, like, it's the campaign was structured exactly the same way that Casey just went over that now, right? And I'm gonna share with you my screen, just going over what Isa, one of our consultants, shared with me about Geo in here. Check this out. Or actually in here. So this was, he joined, this was, I think, 4 days into him joining, or him launching his campaign, sorry, if I'm not mistaken. We placed him with a new closer also because he was booking a lot of calls right off the bat, 8 to 10 calls per day. That's what I mean when I said that we've noticed that ads are cheaper and more efficient, right? Not only more efficient. And then Geo booked 33 booked calls out of 127 leads in 7 days of launch.
So this is, yeah, this is what I meant by it is not expensive to get on ads. It is not expensive. It is more expensive in time for you to wait to do like some organic stuff, some organic tricks, and waste pay in time when you could pay in capital to acquire this. So, and this, you know, whether you're a client, whether you're not a client, like do some niches perform better than others? For sure, right? But you won't know until you actually get started on ads. You won't test fast enough. You won't iterate fast enough. So for anyone who isn't yet working with us, and who wants our team to launch their ads, message me on Discord and I'll let you guys, I'll share with you guys kind of like an offer that we want to test on launching ads. And then you guys can message me if you want to learn more. I'd be happy to get my team in 7 days to launch your ads, so you guys don't have to stay in this loop of, because here's where most entrepreneurs fail. It's when you're not getting outputs. It's in those days where you're, oh, I have a great idea, but then the idea to product market fit or to result is the idle time. Like the greatest enemy for any entrepreneur is the time where there's nothing going on, where you're just like, is this going to work? Oh, this might work. Oh, sir just released this new video. I think this would work. Oh, you get excited, then you get sad. You get excited, then you get sad. You get excited, then you get sad. Remove that. Let's not live in the realm of emotions and feelings. Spend money on ads, get leads, get appointments, get clients. It's all data. No more emotions. So if you guys want to get out of this movement or this feeling zone where you're not sure, you're excited about what you're trying to do, but you're not doing anything about it, let's get you some data. Let's get you leads. Let's get you prospects. So just shoot me a message. But I think we're going to be doing a lot more of these more often, just to show you guys that it's a lot easier than you think it is. It's just that it takes a little bit of risk. It takes a little bit of investment, but the other side of doing it, it can change your life. So, you know, this is coming from someone who his first business was saying, oh, you should do outreach on Instagram. You should do outreach on Instagram. You should do outreach on Instagram, right? You should do organic stuff. But I'm like, yeah, but if you're starting out, you need to pay for attention. It's just super fast. So yeah, guys, I don't know if you guys have any questions before we wrap this up, but I'm going to make a loom on the ads launch and acquisition launch. So I'm going to be sending it to everyone in NBL, but that's pretty much it.
Cool. We told them that we're going to have like less
Tom, can I ask you a question real quick?
Sure. Let's do a 10-minute.
At the beginning of the presentation, you had talked about, you know, the market sophistication, and I think one of the issues that new businesses have. So like my background, I don't know, I've not spoken to you yet, but my background is I had a business. It's terrible. Like the people in it doesn't scale, whatever. So I'm having a brand new offer. So I'm basically like have a brand new business. And so one of the things that I'm having an issue with is like, how do you mitigate not overextending your services? So you're like, you know, the more that variables that you have in your offer, like the more sophisticated and maybe the better it is. But I think people like me tend to do that to try to make up for like, I don't have any case studies, so I'm just going to give you all the things. So like, where is the balance in that?
So I go with it as far as, okay, there are two things that you need to take care of for you to actually create a good offer. A lot of people actually try and solve the problem, like appointment setting, and that's about it, right? For example, for businesses, right? But you can actually create a good offer in a way where you're not necessarily like over stacking just like the deliverables, by also thinking of what is this solution that you're bringing, what's the problem that is coming up as a byproduct of giving them a certain solution, and then fixing that. if you actually just like go that deep into your service delivery, not only solving the problem, but solving the problem that is also coming up as a part of your, as a byproduct of your solution to them, right? We can book you guys like shit ton of calls, right? And we can stop there. But how helpful it is for us to be able to place you with a closer that already sold in a niche that you're in, right? And you don't have to take sales calls, for example, right? And the way that we do it, basically, just to give you a quick answer, I usually sit down and we have like the failing scenarios, right? Of like what might lead a business to failure. Write them all down. You must probably have done that. And what is it that like the ideal way of basically solving these problems? And then boil it down to the 20% of the problems that if you actually solve these problems for them, like you would be able to get them the results, right? So the make it or break it type of variables.
Another way of positioning it is, so when you're marketing, there is different levels of awareness of a market, right? So there is super unaware. So someone who doesn't have a business doesn't really know about the importance of leads, appointments, and sales calls, right? Or closing clients or closing rate. So you marketing leads, appointments, and closing rate to them is useless. So you're trying to solve that for them on an offer. You're like, hey, I have this thing, this system, this infrastructure, it solves everything. They're like, what are you talking about? I have seen no value in what you're talking about, right? So in that case, you really go super broad. It almost like becomes like a B2C consumer opportunity where you're telling them, hey, if you just learn to write, you can make money online. You're going super simple, right? And then now they become problem aware. They're like, oh, but how do I get clients? So then when you're talking to these people on a sales call in marketing, you're talking to what they're aware of. Hey, you now have become an email copywriter, a freelancer, but you don't know how to get clients. So even in the offer, it has to solve that thing that they're super aware of. So people see value in what they're aware of. That's why one of the things that really helped our business is that for me, the reason why our business has grown is because I take someone from unaware all through to problem aware, solution aware, product aware, and other options in one single webinar, 3 hours. So what I do is I literally build my customer. I don't let them choose what's valuable. I don't go and just serve what already exists. I create customers, right? But like that, it's too much of it's too long. So I don't suggest doing that as of now. So now you have to decide when you need to test different angles. Have people already tried setters? Have people tried ads? Have people already, cool. Now, what is it that once they've tried it are now aware of that is the new problem? So someone who's running ads, if you go to them and try to sell them ads, they're going to be like, I've already tried marketing agencies, advertising agencies, like get out of my face, right? But if you talk to them about, hey, you're getting leads that are not showing up and you're getting shitty quality leads. So the system solves not paid advertising, it actually solves quality of leads. So just that in and of itself is worth thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. But you have to establish how sophisticated that customer and that business owner is. Are they in a phase where they don't have any lead gen? Are they in a phase where they have a bunch of leads, but they're super useless and they're having to run after leads that don't show up? Okay, cool. Or they have now a bunch of clients that already solved the sales process. Now it's a matter of like, hey, onboarding people, retaining people, blah, 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 blah. So you have to really be super in tune with what awareness level and what is that for them? What is that thing?
And I'd love to give you another lens because I went through this and it sucked. When I was selling to SaaS, I'm dead serious. This is one of the main reasons why I ended up making money and losing a lot of money. I offered Google ads, Facebook ads. I put this all in my pitch deck. Email outbound, LinkedIn outbound, sourcing creators, landing pages for Google, and something else. Anywho, I was offering everything under the sun because I thought inherently it was going to create more value. And so even though, and this is what happened, I ended up figuring out when people came on calls, because a part of my sales call was like, hey man, out of the things that I kind of walk you through, what are like the main 1 or 2 things that you find the most valuable? everyone kept coming to me for Google and Facebook ads, but yet I still was giving them everything. So I was onboarding them for the entire system, but they were only there for Facebook and Google ads. I became so stressed out having to do everything when I didn't need to, especially at my stage in my life cycle. When you're at the beginning, you unfortunately don't have the benefit of having a full-blown team. You're the solopreneur, right? And it took me forever to realize there's people out there right now that like, let's just take all the bells and whistles out of it, that just know they need to be running Facebook ads. They just know they need to be running Google ads. Hey Digital, massive 8-figure marketing agency, just a Google ads agency. Refine Labs, enterprise marketing agency, doing 57 million. They just specialize on Facebook. But how can you create, this is where unique mechanisms come into play. How can you also create your own unique approach with inside of that? Because at the end of the day, they just want someone to bring the end result of whatever the thing is that in their mind, they think they want. So like an example, Ashton Shanks, he works with Eddie Malouf now, they're business partners. He did Facebook ads, but his approach was he would decentralize your ad account, and everyone bought into his new way, paired with all his case studies, rather than buying the unique thing at his stage when he started off, since he didn't have a full-blown team. What's my unique approach that's like my MVP that I can go to market with, that I'm not going to drown myself in having to do everything. I'm having to wear all these hats, right? When the market you're going after, think to yourself, have the conversations. What are the things that these guys truly are wanting? How can I, starting off, think of, hey, well, if these are really what they're wanting, how can I find my unique approach? Like what Serge was saying, like create almost the awareness of why they should be doing it your way, you know? Because it definitely it killed me for like, I lost a lot of money trying to do all that at one point in my stage, you know? So very good question though. And I hope everyone really just listened to what me, Hassam, and Serge just said. It's important.